Yes, that's what the fucking square means instead of the circle. It's a smile.
There's a square there.
Fucking smalls! Oh my god, no!
Are you sure it's not a triangle?
Hello, all you heroes, villains, and innocent bystanders.
This will be the last.
This will be the last you see of Dal on the Ginny Lee Gentry Comic Book Memorial Club. We are doing. Is it Marches or April's? No, Marches. April's.
April. This is April.
We're finishing April's book.
Wow.
Getting ready. And whose pick was it this time? It was Terry's pick.
And
we did Sync.
I did Sync by Comics Tribe.
So we will be talking about the book and ruining it. So if you haven't read the book and you want to enjoy it before we destroy it, please let us know, or maybe build it up.
Yeah, just a rough overview. It's sort of a horror anthology
/ crime
set in Glasgow.
Suspense. Yeah. But it is a pretty good one.
The story is by John Lees, art and colors by Alec Cormack, letters by Colin Bell, and logo by Tim Daniel.
See, Tim did a logo, Terry.
Maybe we should get him.
Maybe so.
And the kind of the book goes back and forth. It's not like set just one horror.
It's not.
It'd be like a horror story, then the next may be a crime story, and then it kind of balances back and forth.
Anthology that kind of it's loosely connected. There may be, I don't know, they're taking a long time to do it, so there may be a long-running story throughout. I think there is. It just
why is it big overarching?
There's a big overarching story within the.
Yeah.
Well, also with the some other characters as well that
we'll discuss that. Yes.
All right, so we're just going to answer questions, and then we will give a kind of a last general discussion at the end.
Yeah, you said you wanted to try something new.
Yeah, if we have any questions that we didn't feel we got to explain enough of the questions.
So, who wants to start?
Well, you're sitting right there next to the bucket, so you pick the monkey.
Start next to the monkeys. Did you have a favorite character? Actually, yes, I did. I really liked the transvestite fighter that just wanted to kick the shit out of everybody. I really liked. I kind of like the dichotomy of the kind of what she wanted. She wanted to be soft and wanted to be a feminine kind of character, but then
situations and people were not letting her be what she wanted to.
I'm soft and feminine, damn it!
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and it's like this rage about her.
She had been that fighter and everything. She wanted, like she said, something different. She wanted to put that part behind her.
Well, not even just like I'm not even talking about emotionally. I'm talking like even physically. They made her this like Donna Reed haircut and this pretty red dress. But then, like, her hands were scarred from, like, her forearms all the way down to her hands. And so that was just, like, that was a really interesting dichotomy of the different hard and soft kind of
the way you got use big words.
I'm sorry.
So these people
the different sides of the hard and soft of a person, not to mention, like, the kind of character itself. And then even the story that she was in, because she came back later on, they almost, like, they carried it enough to where I felt like she was an interesting character, not just in her story, but like I kind of want to see what she's going to do with these other.
She came back in the 6th issue?
No, 4th, 5th.
She was
in the last one. This is the 5th one with the dog.
She came to help the dog. That's
yeah,
right. That's right.
Well, and she was in the bar, but she's still looking for the same guy. So it's kind of like there's like I like that also, not only just because of the character, but because she furthered along that story to keep it a furthering arc and not just an anthology. Right. Even though she only had her own one book, but she kind of, that particular character also helped bring on the fact that there's going to be more story underneath just the horror.
Yeah, she's got here and she's wanted to meet up with the big boss that's also had a story in there as well.
Yeah.
My favorite character, well, I don't know. I think all the characters are kind of interesting.
They had some really good ones.
I kind of like the ballsy little girl with her looking for her dog. I kind of like that story.
See, that to me...
She just cracked me up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if she's my favorite or not, but I don't know. I liked her.
She stood out.
But I like the fox as well. I think he's kind of an interesting character.
He has enough mystery that I'm kind of like, I want to know what's going to happen with him. Like, what's going on?
He's not necessarily a bad guy. He's not necessarily a good guy. He's not going out. He's not really trying to help anybody per se, but he's not necessarily trying to kill any of the, quote, nicer,
I think for me,
better people.
It's kind of a toss-up between him and the cleaner.
The woman?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. I like
In the
her as
first
well.
story,
yes.
The only
See,
thing
I
with
did
her
read
was
it.
like I felt like that story was a little odd. Like I mean,
I
it
thought it was
worked,
kind of
but
cliche, but yeah.
yeah, there was definitely. I think that's why I liked the character that I can't remember her name. Was it? I want to say Jacqueline, but it's not right. Whatever her, I liked her because she seemed kind of different than what other books.
But I kind of was
I've
confused a bit because it looked like that she put him on the boat and he had left.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like her. That was kind of her wish. Like she wanted to be able to like. She was hoping that he would be alive and she could help him, and then she could set him on instead of being this horrible person that's gonna like
and then
cut up his body and dispose of it.
She ends up cutting it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a dream
James said
sequence.
that actually kind of confused him. Didn't confuse me.
Yeah.
But I watched so many of these horror movies. I knew exactly what was going on.
Yes.
It took me a minute. Like I had to go back and kind of figure it out. But after I figured it out, like I assumed that's what it was a dream sequence. But then it kind of
and I myself don't like anthologies
I
too much because
don't like
or stories like I say
like
this is like kind of like the Sin City and the Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction stuff, not Pulp Fiction. Yeah, Pulp Fiction, where everything's happening different times and you have to put it together.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I want a linear story.
Oh, I do like that. I think it's kind of interesting. I understand what you're saying. It confuses some people. But it
was interesting the first one or two times somebody did it. Now it's just exhausting.
But I feel like
jumping around in time thing. I'm like, look, just if your story isn't interesting enough to start at the beginning and then tell the middle and tell the end, maybe it wasn't really interesting enough.
This story really wasn't like that. It was linear, but then she was sitting there and she was thinking about, I wish
right.
I didn't
This
do
was, but then you go to the next issue and it's like something totally different. And I know, granted, these people all kind of intersect and everything, and you see things happen in one part in a story where that references the other. But to me, trying to put all these together, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read a book. I'm not trying to watch, a murder mystery.
I think it's actually, I feel the exact opposite of that. Like, I feel like this was strong enough that each issue stood alone. But if you wanted to continue in more of the story, you could read more into this. Like, I mean, you could read each one of these issues. You could like, hey, just read this issue, and somebody would be like, okay,
right.
And then, but because you read the other issues, you get a little bit more out of it. And so I definitely think I liked it that we read it again. The one thing I like about this club is like I like that we read it in a format where we read several of them in a row. I think if I had to read this on a regular basis, I think it would be a little bit old. But because I could read them consecutively quickly, that it gave me enough time to catch all the little things, like catch the transvestite in the season or in the 5th issue, and catch the fox in the 3rd issue that was in the 1st issue, But I think if I had to wait months in advance, I think I would have been confused with some of the more stuff for me.
Right.
What did you have favorite character, James?
The same one you did, the fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy gal.
She was not sweet. There was not much sweet about her.
She wanted to be sweet.
I definitely think like some of them, like even I feel a lot of them, they gave a little bit more heart to some of the characters, so that they're not just like these like slasher.
None of the characters are just
outright evil,
and they're not just very linear. Nothing to them. They all have some sort of heart or soul or something to them. You get into they give you enough to get into the characters, and that's why I am enjoying each issue because I'm looking forward to more of the overall story.
Yeah, I definitely was impressed with that. All right, touch the monkey.
I touched the monkey.
Shut the monkey.
Let's sit down here so that they can see this. So they can see James.
No.
Do you think the title fit the book well? If so, why? And if not, why not? Well, not really.
I think it fit really well. I think it's talking about just this area of Glasgow is just
called the sink.
It's just sinking into.
It's called the sink.
Wasn't that the cordoned off area? Wasn't that called the sink also? When they were they like had all the druggies and all the stuff.
I don't remember if it was called the sink or not, but it seems like that area is just it's lost.
I definitely can
Sinking.
see where the title fits into this, but I definitely couldn't pick this up and look at the title and be like, this explains the book.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
No, not at all.
Like I feel like it's either you either gonna give it a chance because of the inside, or you know somebody would be like, oh, Sink, this sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I didn't. I came into the book late because
Yeah.
I just like Sink. I don't know about that. But then somebody told me about it, and I took a closer look, and the art drew me in. So
I will say the art I thought was pretty good
the art
for a
this genre.
I disagree. I had a hard time telling people sometimes, but
I didn't.
I think it definitely led into a darker mood. But with that, like, you can do horror without having to. Everything has to be dark and.
Well, he does the clowns great. The clowns are evil looking. I'm telling you.
Most of the characters look. I mean, like they fit pretty good. Like, but there's certain panels where, you know, where their faces are all blocked out, and you're just like, why are you even doing that panel? Like, it's just.
I did not care for the art at
No,
all.
I love the art.
It wasn't my favorite, but I think it did fit.
And that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we got this group together, because all of us are gonna agree disagree.
that's why there's chocolate and vanilla.
Damn it, I want strawberry.
Of course you do, Dal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rated 1 to 5. Purple.
Did you learn anything from the series about the author, artist, or situation? I learned that the author hates Glasgow.
Fiery passion.
The artist is not a healthy person.
I definitely feel
And
like
the
they do have a lot of anger
situation
in them. Yeah.
is effed up.
Yeah.
Dude, have a Twinkie or something.
Yeah.
Because seriously,
That's one thing that like
you need a trip to Tahiti. Bad.
as messed up as they were, like as messed up as they were, I still feel like there was enough heart and not happiness isn't the right word, but enough positivity or enough something. There's enough hope that got through with most of the stories that didn't make me feel like depressed every time I got done reading it. Like I got done reading it, and I mean, like there was definitely a lot of like, oh, that was
hope
dark.
in that book.
Well, I mean, like
I didn't.
the
see
woman
any hope.
wanted to be good, and so that was kind of neat. You know, she wanted to help people, and then the transvestite, she was trying to help her family and trying to do good, and then the girl looking for her dog, she was trying to do good, and then the kids were actually like they set out on a good path to be able to, you know, find their friend and defend them, but then like I feel like there was enough.
I wouldn't call it hope.
Even the main bad guy that's running the town stopped the dog fights.
Yeah.
He brought her another dog.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't want to see her, he didn't want to see her again.
Yeah.
After that, because she's got such a smart mouth.
And you know what? I sat there reading that issue, and after that issue, I was thinking, you know, next issue or so, we're gonna have the dog turn and kill her or something.
No.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I never
The
thought
dog's
about that.
name is Bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, that
But no,
dog too. He looks so cute.
We actually talked to Alex before, Cormark. He used to be in a Facebook group we were in, and you know, he's a nice guy. But yeah, his art on this,
There was definitely some panels that I thought really stood out to me, but I mean, overall, it was very just dark and
But I do agree. I don't think
aggressive.
I don't think I'm gonna go to Glasgow, Scotland anytime soon, man.
not at night.
Not at night.
Definitely not at
no.
night. And if there are any vans, I'm glad I can run.
We're going to that area that we think is called Sink. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Do you think? Well, this doesn't really apply to this. Do you think the main character was a good choice for the point of view of this story?
Well, I mean, like,
I guess it has more because it has more than.
Yeah, one main character.
I guess
It's
each
not
story
really
has
a main character.
each story has a main character, sort of.
But each book, I feel like they picked somebody that had a good point of view, and they weren't like picking some obscure randomness. Like it actually had a vision for each book, which I thought they did was kind of neat.
You know, like the first one was kind of the guy who
Was running late.
or misses the bus. Misses the bus, which is a good thing he missed that bus anyway. Well, he's
Yeah,
like,
the
good
murder
or not.
bus. Yeah.
Well, the first one was the killer. What the cleaner, wasn't it?
no.
that
The
was
first one was
second
the the guy who's
Okay,
leaving the bar,
Right, okay.
and he runs into Mr. Fox.
And
Right,
then
that's right.
what was the guys with the condoms on their head?
The dickhead.
The
The
Dickheads.
dickheads, yes, the dickheads.
That's right.
And then the second one was the cleaner.
We're cleaning,
Second one's
okay.
the cleaner. So she's
Third
the
one
main
was
character. In
yeah.
that one.
Third one was the transvestite. The fourth one was the kids, and then the fifth one was the girl, and the sixth one was the clown-ish story.
It was the lady who got caught by the
Kidnapped,
clowns, kidnapped by the clowns,
and escaped.
escaped.
Esque.
Yeah.
It had the nose with the nails
Fins,
through it.
yeah.
The
nails,
fins through it.
fins.
Yeah.
There's
Was
some-
it nails or was it like an alien or something that took over
No.
their?
I felt like it was like
brains?
nails or
I thought it was
screws is what it looked like.
nails
to
or
me.
See, I thought it was like a
No.
alien
I did
or
learn one
something,
thing
and
about
it
the
was
book.
like changing them.
Well, I think the
No,
gas
no,
is
no.
what, like them being on the gas when they were like inhaling all those fumes, and then they would go crazy. Like I think there was something in the gas, like, kind of a Joker.
And I kind of go back to James'
Yeah.
question real quick here. I did learn that Terry's kind of sick in the head.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I think this is a consensus.
I think you and I don't like clowns, and that's just no.
Does this remind you of another book? Actually, honestly, I cannot say no. I mean, or I can say no that it doesn't remind me of a lot of books that are out there. It does remind me a lot of like movies or stories like that kind of follow similar genres. But even with that, like I think the characters are unique and the overarching storyline. So not just each person's story, but the kind of underlying storyline that's kind of between all of them, that's connecting them a little bit here and there. You know, like the fox being in the fourth issue, and you know there's something going on with him, and then there's the guy from the fifth issue. There's something going on with that thing, and everybody's trying to hunt him down, and so there's definitely a uniqueness, but still a familiarity to it. So I don't think but I can't think of a book that I'm like, oh, it's a lot like this.
Yeah, I mean it's a horror genre, so
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the horror genre, but I don't think there's any one point I can pick out that I'm really familiar with that's from another book. Just small elements here and there.
Right.
So
Little tropes, but
Yeah.
nothing. I don't think it was really severe. Like, I didn't feel like I was reading like a copy or rip off of something
Right.
else.
you guys didn't have anything to say about that?
Just the Alan and Terry show.
I mean, to me, it was like your typical horror. I mean, typical horror anthology. Yeah, there were some tweaks and differences to it, but I mean, it's just
No, I didn't. I haven't read anything that reminded me of.
Well,
Not even
I mean, I
close.
feel like even like the Twilight Zone series, or like Creepies and Eerie's, there's a lot more like of a mystical kind of monster, or like a karma.
Yeah, none of these
Underlying-
monsters, except for the main guy and supposedly having magic protecting his house.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of magical stuff about this. It's
No. I mean, like, there's kind of like otherworldly like creepiness, but it's not like there's not like a demon or. And I think that's where a lot of the other horror movies.
It's still kind of your typical psychological horror kind of thing. So, I mean, tweaks here and there. I mean, to the stories, yeah, but you know. Is there a character that you would like to meet in real life? Oh, hell no. Nope.
I wouldn't mind meeting the tranny. She seemed pretty cool.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
I feel like
meeting the little girl.
Nope.
I don't know if she's a little girl. She's a
the young
kinda-
lady.
yeah.
Go,
young
go,
lady.
go,
The fox guy was pretty cool.
Any
The
street in
fox was
Tulsa, meet a
good.
girl looking
No.
for a dog, probably. So you know.
But if you run into Mr. Fox, though, you know something bad's going
Some
down.
shit's
so
going down,
Maybe
yeah.
you don't want to meet him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to meet the bus driver
No.
for that bus because
With all the dead people, like, you know.
yeah, that one time you see the guy missed the bus and he really wanted that bus and he pulls off and all the dead people are in there. And then if you catch also later on the main bad guy, he's getting in the bus and he's like, he tells the bus driver, none of your shit. You know?
Yeah. And then, yeah, exactly. And the fifth one, when he
Yeah.
goes, yeah. It's like he controls that bus.
Right.
What genre do you think this comic fits into? Effed up.
Well, it's
Yeah, I think after this,
it's
I'm gonna go back and
definitely,
read more
yeah.
Uber.
It's definitely a horror.
Uber's horrible.
It's definitely horror, but it's also some crime, mystery,
Yeah.
suspense,
There's really no mystery. It's really set more horror and
Thriller.
crime.
thriller.
Yeah.
Well, you still don't know. there's still mystery behind some of the characters. You don't know some stuff about some of the characters. You still don't know everything about Fox. You don't know everything about the main bad guy. So there's still elements.
Well, as of, like you said, like as of right now, there's no mystical element, but
you don't know.
Is there something that's more to the
what
town?
Made
that,
these clowns?
Yeah.
The blue van? What what?
I thought the nose was something.
So,
I mean,
there's still mystery behind
that was
it.
glommed onto that.
Like a parasite.
Yeah.
The nose, the parasite nose again.
Yeah.
I can see that like in the 6th issue where she's trying to pull it off and it snaps back.
Yeah.
It's just, but that's just because it's
clamped.
so clamped in there, you know.
Yeah.
It's got all those nails and stuff in there and it squeezes.
Do you get your rubber nose? Bring you one. If you find a rubber nose in your car in the morning, I didn't do it. If you get a phone call.
Does it feel current? I thought the writing felt very current.
Yeah, it didn't feel dated or anything.
Yeah.
Well, even like
in the way the art was done, it felt current.
See, I kind of
the
felt
fashion.
the art
I feel like it was
the flow.
A bit. So
even though each story was individual, it was interesting. I thought the flow of it was interesting throughout the books. Then the little pieces that did connect.
Well, it's like with Sin City. You know, all the stories take place at a different time, and you kind of have to put the books together, kind of figure out where, because Marge dead in the first, Marge dies, but yet he shows up in the second story.
Spoilers.
I don't think.
If you haven't read Sin City yet, I'm sorry, but you see him in the next story talking to Dwight, so it takes place before his death.
I don't think you're putting anything together really. You're just getting more of the story, those little bits of the story as you go along. But if you're reading it, unless it takes them so long to forget about it, you might have to go back and reread it. But I don't think you're putting anything together. You're just getting more of the story.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I said, like I feel like since we got to read it in consecutive order and not just not just monthly to month. I definitely would have got a little not by much, but I would have definitely had to gone back and try to figure some things out, connections between some of the stuff.
That's kind of any book that may take forever for them to put it out, though.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I felt like because we read it all in order, I saw the connections, like the different characters popping up and stuff like that. I thought it was really good. Oh, gosh.
No, I was just saying about you. I can't sleep now. The clowns. Your message that you first read it.
It was horrible.
I have to watch Rainbow Bride or something like that. You said.
What do you? Well, we've kind of touched on this subject. So, what do you think of the artist of the book? So, I thought it was actually interesting to see. Did you answer your phone?
Sir,
You
turn your phone off during Brook Club.
No,
Sir, your phone is going. Sir, hit the red button.
So, with the artist,
maybe I did answer it. I don't know.
Terry's answering his phone, and apparently our book club is not that cool enough that Terry
boring
is.
him.
He's
Go
over it
meet
now.
I usually turn it off.
And it's his choice.
I forgot to do it this time.
So, with the artist though, I don't know, like, we've touched it a couple times, but I feel like the artist fit most of the book, but there were a lot of areas that I was like, I noticed it especially with the cleaner, like that one was really dark and sketchy, and a lot of it was just by firelight, and so they did a lot of little highlights, and I had a hard time telling what was going on, or characters, like who was what, and so that one was a little bit difficult. But then some of the other books, though, I feel like with the kids, there was a lot more brightness to it. You could see it a little bit better and clearer.
Yeah, I think it took place during the day and ended up different. So there wasn't enough purple for me.
Wasn't enough purple and pink? What did you guys think? I mean, like you've already said.
I thought the art fit. I mean, there was, like you said, sometimes you don't like Alex. That's okay. I'll tell Alex you don't like him, and just be happy with it.
I think this is the last round, isn't it?
Yeah.
Damn, these go by quick.
I noticed that when we actually enjoy a book,
we've already touched on this. I want to redraw.
Okay. What is it?
Did the art work for or against the book?
Okay. Yeah, we've already talked about that 7 times.
We need to get new questions.
I'm working on it. You want to take over the show?
No, so you just
Then
need
shut up.
to write more
Read the
better
question.
questions. Do you think this would make a good movie or TV show? Well, I kind of think it's already out there, done. But I mean, and I say done, not to this. It's kind of.
They've done stuff like it, but I think the story would be interesting enough to see it as an actual show.
I mean, it kind of
I
reminds me
think
of the old
they
Friday
could've-
the 13th series that used to show up on Fox.
I
in
can
a
see
way.
that. Or I really think of like American Horror Story. Like I think they could
Yeah.
you could take each book and make a season out of it almost. Like it could be, there could be a lot more stuff. But
Or at least a couple story arcs a season
Yeah.
for it, yeah.
yeah,
A Sherlock season of 3 episodes.
yeah, that would be really. I mean, well, especially like I know the girl looking for her dog. Like that could have been a really like a little bit longer or a couple episodes and.
Yeah,
I definitely
but
could see
then,
this
But then
as
you
a
have
TV
the whole
series.
season 2 Walking Dead. Where we're trying to find the girl, who you know's been zombified, but yet
Walking
they're
forever.
walking. Well, yeah, looking forever and ever and ever. 4 episodes in, 5 episodes in, you finally find her.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's because they had no budget.
They had to work with what they
I
had.
don't care. It still took 5 episodes to find the little girl.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Kept watching.
what do you think about TV wise?
I think it could be. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the throwback would be the old, like I said, the Friday the 13th that was on Fox.
I think it could. I think each
Yeah.
episode could, but I would do it like James said, in small 3 episodes or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You could definitely kind of, or
Could
2 or
be
3
like a
episodes.
Black Mirror kind of thing, or like I said, an American Horror Story. I feel like American Horror Stories are a lot like this, except for they have the overreaching arc that's in
Right.
the whole season.
Right.
So instead of making it an 8-episode season, they can make it a 3-episode season. Yeah. All right, James. Pick a good one.
Would you read other comics by the writer? Why or why not? I probably wouldn't. This wasn't my thing. I'm not.
You don't like horror.
This isn't an attack. I just didn't care for it myself. So
I actually probably would read something else from him or from
Depending
them.
on what he wrote.
Yeah, like I think it would depend on the subject. I don't think I would read another horror one just because, like you said, it's not my thing. But I would definitely, like, if he did maybe a crime novel or something like that, or a crime book, or like a superhero book. So I would.
Yeah, I would read it too, because I think even if you took his writing out of a horror, he wrote clear characters, he wrote clear dialogue, he kept the story flowing. It didn't seem very. There were certain things that were a little mysterious about it, but
wasn't boring. No.
So he kept the story going really well.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think he would. Yeah, and dialogue was usually pretty easy.
Dialogue was good.
Even the creepy one, like the creepy dialogues, you're just like kind of meant to be
It
kind of confusing.
didn't feel still, the dialogue. It
Right.
felt kind of fresh and current and not,
And something that people would say, like I think sometimes a lot of writers,
Right.
that's one of the problems I'm having with Wonder Woman. I feel like Wonder Woman, some of the stuff that she talks like, and I'm just like, nobody talks like that. Nobody. Like it just doesn't work. And
well,
so,
even with, like we're talking about the tranny going into the, I guess the transvestite character going into the bar. They have that history with those people. Yes, that people are gonna call out, what they see. And so,
yeah, I think
if
you did
they
really
knew,
well.
yeah.
All right, Terry. Last question.
I think we should go longer.
well, we've got other.
I know you do.
What audience would you recommend this to?
Sick, twisted people.
Glaswegians.
They definitely would not. I would
They're
not.
like, oh yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah.
In fact, they probably would think, yes, that's right.
I know the fox. He's my friend. Like we hang out. Yeah.
Definitely people like horror, they like anthologies,
Yeah.
they like just short stories.
Crime novel,
Crime,
like any
suspense.
thriller. Yeah. Fans of,
Noir, maybe.
Yeah. Definitely a more of a American Horror Story kind of Twilight Zone liker. Somebody that likes that kind of stuff would be somebody I would recommend for it. All right, well, that was all the questions. As far as overall like feel of the book, or like were you upset about reading it? Like, did you think that? I mean, I know you weren't because obviously it was your pick, but
Right. I mean, I've
as much as I was uncomfortable with some of it, I probably won't read the rest of them, but I wasn't like I wasn't like cussing your name at night, going, "Oh, Terry!"
I thought it
the
was
pox upon you.
These type of things don't scare me. I just find them interesting. So, I don't understand how it scares other people because I don't find it, but I guess it can. But
it is creepy.
It doesn't creep me out that much.
It's creepy.
It takes a lot to creep me out.
I mean, it was decent. I'll say.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, like, I think the reason it creeps me specifically out is because this one was not supernatural, and so this is really human nature, and this stuff can like that's the stuff that creeps me way out. The horror stuff, like the monsters and demons and magic and stuff like that, scares me, but it doesn't like I don't carry it with me. The stuff like where it's actually this is real people doing this, like the Hannibal Lecters and the Silence of the Lambs stuff. It's just like, and just that stuff stays with me for a while. Like so, that's why I have a hard time with some of the horror stuff. But I think this particular one, there was a lot of human nature in it, where it wasn't just some mystical demon.
No, it was my pick. I'll continue reading it because I'm interested in so many of the characters. I'm interested in the clowns. I love the clowns. I love the drawing of the clowns. I loved all the art in it, especially the clowns. And the main boss, the transvestite storyline, when they're going to possibly meet up and battle it out or something.
I do have to say,
all these characters are interesting to me.
I looked at the covers of the ones that are coming up, and some of the covers look really fun. That I'm like. I'm kind of interested just because after reading it, but yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a milkman with a firebomb, and then there's like a family with a duffel bag, and then I think this newest one, I think that was number 8, and then number 9, like I saw on a preview, and it's got some kind of assassin ninja lady, and I'm like, maybe I'll keep reading. I don't think so, but there might be a time where I might download the rest of them, but I just doubt it. But the one thing we didn't touch on was the last book. So we read 1 through 5 in the trade paperback, and then we also added 6 into it, which 6 was an interesting book because
it was almost an all silent issue, other than noises.
Right.
And it was about this lady that was captured by the clowns, and she kind of gets away, and they're tracking her down, and she's fighting for her life, and she winds up at the end of it. She shows up at her house, and she can see her husband and her kid, and they're talking to the police, and she's out of it at that point.
And she kind of sees her reflection and how messed up she is.
Yeah, they've messed her up.
Yeah, they cut her mouth.
I thought she stapled her mouth though.
She did, but it was gash.
That's the way the clowns give you a laugh. Is they actually cut your both sides with the razor of your mouth, and she
kind of goes back.
She was a nurse, I believe.
I can't remember.
I think she was a nurse.
It kind of goes back to the Dark Knight with
kind of
Ledger,
Dark Knight.
his cutting,
And so, by the end of it, she was kind of, I don't know if she was kind of becoming a clown, because at the end of it, another clown van passed the van that she had.
I think she got to the point.
It was really
the
creepy.
way I interpret it is like she went through all this hell, and then she thinks she's finally got them because she killed all of them in the garbage trowel. So she thinks she's killed them all, and then she drives by and there's another whole van of them, and she's just like, she's kind of like loses her mind. She's like, well, I tried so hard, and now it's like,
she left her family after looking at them because I don't think she knew what state. I'm not sure what state of mind she was. I felt like she couldn't go back to her family. She was too messed up at that point.
Because she had that big giant gash. Her nose was messed up because she's ripped that nose off, and it's like destroyed her entire nose. So her face is just destroyed. She's got young kids, and that's when they kind of show they kind of show that reflection in the mirror or in the window as she's looking in, and she sees that her family's like mourning her and mourning the loss, and then she kind of sees what she's become. She's become this monster. So I think it was a little bit different too with that. It's just like she can't go back, but but going forward, it's just,
and I thought it was really well done with the artist in that one, and didn't have any dialogue. You were able to still read that story without that dialogue very easily.
I can see James out in front of my eyes shaking his head.
And it did remind me a lot of that one. Reminded me, especially the art, reminded me a lot of the Sin City because it had the rain in it and it had like that black and white kind of rain. But yeah, it was just like. That one was a crazy issue, but I do not like the clowns. I say no, thank you. I say, they gets into the clowns.
Those clowns really just those are great.
So Terry's getting a box van with no windows. Beware if you ever see one. And Terry, please do not get in the van.
If you get into the creepy clowns, they're very cool. They're drawn well. They're the way they create other clowns or make you into a clown is interesting. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun book.
There's some interesting ones.
It's a fun, creepy book.
So, were you upset that you read it? I mean, I know it wasn't.
I like being forced out of my comfort zone. I'm not upset that I read it. I didn't care for it, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why we, especially doing this club, that's the reason. But you, Dal?
Dichotomy.
Are you dichotomy? Sorry.
Big word.
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
was that a metaphor?
Symbolism.
Soliloquy. Learn big words on book club.
Yeah, we're gonna get Dal a word of the day calendar.
No, please don't. I could take it or leave it.
Do you think you'll continue on with it?
Probably not.
I can't wait to bring you more books like this.
I know. I mean, honestly, like, as much as it disturbed me, I wasn't, like, actually...
I mean, in a way, I kind of felt like I was watching a story arc of was it Criminal
Minds?
Yes. This would fit really well in with Criminal Minds. Especially when the Criminal Minds International series. This would have fit perfectly for that.
I think. That.
I don't know, but then it's just creepy. Alright, so that was our pick for April. So if you haven't had a chance and you sound like this might be something that you like, you need to pick it up. It's actually, like, Terry really enjoys it. I didn't hate it, which actually says a lot about something. James was not a fan. So let's rate it. So 1 to 5, what would you give it?
I'd probably give this one a 5. It's just a great
right
read.
up your alley.
Yeah.
James?
Between a 1 and a 2.
I gotta agree with James. Probably more the 2. I thought the art was the story was good, so that's why I give it a 2.
I think if it had better art, I think I would have gave it higher, but I would give it probably a 3 out of 5. It's middle of the road for me. I only because it's the art and not my genre, not my thing. It's not my.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't think it was a pile of steaming shit.
Right.
If you're going into it,
we read some way worse stuff. Like the writing was decent, the characters were kind of interesting. It has some interesting plot points. The art was okay.
It have some redeeming qualities.
Right. I feel like if some of these characters were in a different book or a different kind of series, I think I would be really excited about them. But
yeah, but if horror is up your genre, then definitely check out some.
Definitely check it out. And if it's not, then maybe you can just take our word for it. So then we'll
Terry a nasty message.
So now it's going to be Dal's pick for the month. So
it is my pick. I'm picking a book that I'm pretty sure none of us have read.
Oh, great.
It's by a very stylized artist.
That sounds horrible.
Thank you for keeping your mind open. Like I said, I've never read, so I don't know what to expect on this. I mean, it may be a total piece of garbage, but it'll look pretty.
Okay.
It's by and it's actually won some awards. I actually have the book here.
Automatically makes it
It's
crack.
by Paul Pope. It's called Battling Boy.
I have never even heard of this.
Have you read it?
No.
Have you read it?
No.
No. See, I mean, there we go. Just a little bit from the thing here. Monsters roam through Acropolis, swallowing children into the horrors of their shadowy underworld. But it does say the adventure.
One job, Dal. One job.
Scary clown. Only one man is a match for them. The genius vigilante Haggard West. Unfortunately, Haggard West is dead.
Oh.
So so it's
So this will be it.
that'll be what we're reading.
And it looks like it's just one novel.
Well, this is volume 1.
Oh.
I don't know if There is one called Aurora West. I don't know if that's a prequel, but we're going to just read this one.
Okay.
But it's called Battling Boy, a new generation superhero, or a new generation hero.
Well, that's their quote.
Right.
Entertainment Weekly.
Right. Yes, that's what Entertainment Weekly says.
Paul Pope, Battling Boy, Volume 1.
Yep.
How many issues are in Volume 1, or is this?
This is Volume 1. This is how it came.
Yeah, it doesn't say like page number or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
All right.
So.
Well, there you have it. I will be placing that in the descriptions down below at some point. Let us know what you think.
ATTLING.
Spelling with James.
Let us know.
Sorry.
Let us know what you think, whether you got to read Sync or if you hadn't read Sync. If you ever do, give us a comment. Let us know what you thought about it. And then next month we will be reading for Battling Boy, and we will give our unsolicited opinion at that point. So until then,
Battling Boy.
It's like herding cats. Like
I'm looking for this book.
You can look for it later. We're finishing up here.
Wait. Well, some of us are finishing up. The rest of us are just getting started, apparently. Welcome to the show, James.
At least he's not picking on me.
Yeah, he's gonna start the next one. So, if you get a chance, stay tuned for.
James is a very busy person.
An
so
angel
we should
in a
start
unicorn.
now.
I swear to God, if one more person arrests me, I'm gonna lose some stuff.
I see that. Lose it.
I'm gonna kill him. Stay tuned if you get a chance for a Angel and a Unicorn comic book reviews with me and James. Fortunately, Dal will be gone. Thank God.
I can review comics for this week. I've read comics
No,
this
he will
week.
not. He cannot do it. He cannot. I refuse to let him.
Challenge accepted.
But until then, until next month, we're
See, I got it left out.
You got
completely.
left
That
out.
one.
I know.
well.
You're gone.
You can
It's
stay
Del-
if you want.
It's James and
Dal
Alan, but
Dal
Terry,
can't stay.
he doesn't
Dal
even
can't
exist.
Terry
stay. Dal
Terry
brings
can stay,
entertainment
maybe.
to the party.
He may just be there. We just don't realize he's there. He's like a ghost. He's invisible. So join us next month for Battling Boy, and we hope you get a chance to read Sync and enjoyed it. If not, we can blame Terry. So until then, also if you get a chance, Terry and Dal do a
we do
podcast.
Comic Book Straight Talk.
Mm-hmm. And so they would love more support, and we would love more support. So if you can, like, share, and subscribe, turn on
Be
the
an
bell
athletic
notifications.
supporter.
When did I lose control?
If you can't
Was there a
be
turning
an
point?
athletic-
Was there like a visual turning point? Like
When we
you
all
can't
smiled
be
at
an
the beginning and said hi.
Well, that's a
and I hit the
quote.
little record
It's
button.
from Greece. You know, you like
I
Greece.
just don't even know what to do with them. So
If you can't be an athlete,
before I
be
kill
an
Dal
athletic
on camera,
supporter.
where there's actually evidence, and join us for next month for Battling Boy. We hope your pull list is full.
Bye.
Bye.